I think that the opportunity that we have as a community college is that we really are the opportunity, the open access point for residents of this state. Right, community colleges all up and down the state have the awesome responsibility of being invited and welcomed into people's lives because they are choosing that gaining access to higher education is something that's important to them. That gaining access to upskill their job training or to get a certificate or to get a degree or to gain the curriculum knowledge for transfer. So we exist because people value that access to higher education is important.
A lot of it is this notion that we need to better prepare our educators to engage a population that, one, our community colleges were never designed for, and two, they were never prepared to engage.
That the default position of higher education is one that reaffirms whiteness. And so we kind of bring baggage with us that tends to reflect these institutionalized realities.
There's nothing accidental about the way that we produce knowledge.
So many of us as teachers have been told that the teacher is the person who knows everything, and the learners are those who need to get the wisdom of the teacher. But in fact, the most dynamic settings are when teaching and learning happen in both aspects.
I feel like programs like ETS, for example, I think they do a great job of doing a few things. First, they create community, a community that brings together a community of educators who learn the language and who learn the concepts of equity. And then they're actually able to take that and go apply it in these other critical spaces in which they're working.
This gives us a space where we can talk about and think about and catch up on the latest research and how that research and what's going on impacts what we do, how we can upgrade, if you will, how we can change and modify the practices, the procedures we may have.
If we're willing to acknowledge that we have like individual work to do, then there's hope for us. The minute any one of us decides, I've already gone to a training, I've already taken a class, I already did a requirement that says that I did one workshop and so that therefore makes me culturally competent. The minute that we think that we have done enough is actually the bigger challenge. It's the time when we've stopped learning how to be more responsive and engaged as a community.
So what I see this as is an example of a professional learning community like what we see in K-12, where people are provided with a structured learning opportunity to engage some material that they wouldn't normally engage. And they're getting that here, and we think that it's efforts like this that really can serve to create a different climate and culture on our community college campuses.
When students come in, they experience one student experience, which is the Skyline experience, regardless if it's in the classroom, in the counseling session, in the tutoring, in financial aid, admissions and records. And so how do we ensure that as a campus community that we are ensuring a positive experience for our students?
Kind of take a step back out of your everyday work to work and realize, oh yeah, this is the type of students that we serve, and this is some ways and some strategies that we can better help them be more successful here at Skyline College.
You may think you know a lot just from your experiences or what you learned going to school, but then hearing somebody else's perspective, hearing how they may have changed things in the classroom, hearing of their discussions with their student populations, it's really been an eye-opener for me. And sometimes it's kind of charged me, it's kind of fueled me.
I think it helps me to be more well-rounded. It helps me to be not only a source of, here, this is how you balance this equation, but also a source of, this is where you need to go for financial aid, for example. If you need extra time on an exam and I see a student struggling, this is where you go, DRCs in this particular location. So it helps me to be, I think, more well-rounded for the students in itself.
So one of the most valuable things is also the behind-the-scenes sharing. Right? So there's the instruction, there's the group work, there's the exercises, but then there's the conversations that hatches that you have with individuals. Okay, I love kind of where you're at with that. Let's get together and talk about how we can get involved.
We haven't had a speaker yet that I wasn't in awe of, that I was actually for free able to sit there and listen to him or her.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
And both their expertise and their clear leadership in the work that they're describing, but also their ability to communicate.
Your neurology and physical experience was imagined and expected. That's the norm.
What I've found in the ETS is that by bringing together a diversity of what we have on our campus, students, faculty, staff, administrators, and sometimes community members, creating that safe space that's ongoing allows us each time to come back to the familiar, the safe, the healthy place that we can then say, I don't know about this, tell me more. Or I haven't thought about this. I think that's what it takes to be a citizen of the world. I think it's what it takes to be a member of the Skyline community. And I know that's what it takes to be a teacher, is that you need to know your topic, the content. You need to know how to transmit it or communicate it, share it, teach it, and you need a solid understanding of issues of equity. And each of those, we have more to learn. We always have more to learn.
So just learning different pedagogies, different levels of kind of critical consciousness, different theories and different kind of learning styles has been one of the most powerful and kind of impactful moments of the sessions that we've had.
And oftentimes when we go places, people ask us, well, who should we be looking at? We're going to tell them you need to be looking at ETS.